Avenue, Greenpoint. Let's do it. Next stop is 39th Place, Greenpoint. We're going. Excuse me. All right, guys, we're on Greenpoint and 40th Street. Ooh. So we on 39th Place in Greenpoint. That was a good short shot right there. Woo! So that's another 24 that's coming down right here. Another 24 that's coming down. So I guess we are at Greenpoint Avenue, 39th Place. I'm waiting for the 24. So let's enjoy the video. If you like the video, like it and subscribe, All right, so let's get back to the video. This is good. We could airdrop this sheet when I'm done. That's 4. We could just use my other phone and track it. Let's see if my other phone have a reception. I don't have reception right now, but I don't have reception on this one. And I'm not gonna use my blue spot, my hotspot to get reception. I'm back on 39th Place and Greenpoint. I'm waiting for the 24 bus. It should be here in the next hour, next 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm out here, A lot of people it was a great discussion about relationships. So, very good discussion about it. And a lot of people ask me for advice about how to deal with it. And I'm going to give you a little bit of tips how to deal with relationships that you're dealing with. So, I talk about, they ask me questions about relationships and talk about certain things that I'm, talking about is kind of good for you to understand and kind of get relate to what the situation is occurring to you. About relationships and how you're gonna handle certain things. With me, a lot of people ask me questions about dating. I'm gonna get to that part because I really like really like the topic about that. A lot of people was like, "Would you this and that?" And I said, I came out as a heterosexual man in October 2024, right? I came out on my birthday. I identified as a heterosexual. The gender that I choose to identify as, the gender that I choose to be with, is a woman. Um, would a woman accept me for that? Yeah, they would. But I will not date a woman that is ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like, dealing with woman and dealing with a lot of that bullshit. You're not gonna deal with that bullshit that you're dealing with a woman. Um, the thing about women is that when you deal with their nonsense, they have a tendency to go in the closet and do some voodoo shit in your bathroom, and no, in your bedroom, and your yeah. So with me, if that wasn't if I was in that position as a guy and the girl's doing that shit in my house, I'm gonna sell my house. I'll call the broker and tell him to sell my house. I'll move out my stuff in 2 weeks and get a new property. And I would not allow that in my house, like, to be honest with you. And about dating with me, I would date a woman that's Methodist, a methodological woman. Like, if I believe in Methodism, I believe in science, I believe in God, Even, like, honestly, you know what I mean? Like, with me, nah. With me, I'm not gonna, like, deal with the nonsense. And that's how I am. That's how I am in relationship-wise. But to tell you the truth, I would not, like, in my position, I would not deal with that in my lifetime. I will move out. I will move out my stuff, and I will not date with somebody that does that stuff, and they hide it from you for 10 years, and then you move out, and then I put the house for sale, and I let somebody buy it, and that's me. I'll put the house for sale. That's in my position. I will not practice that. I will not allow that in my house. I will put it for sale, and I will not allow that to get to me as far as position wise. I would not deal with a person that's trying to break me. You feel me? But if a person is trying to break me and get to my circle where I need God, where I need my Methodism and my godliness and my Yahwehness, yeah, I'm gonna go to that path. But as far as me dealing with that nonsense, I will not deal with it. I will rebuke it, and I will tell them, hell, nah, you ain't going